Things haven't been easy to get my documents. I've been in the process since 2017. Some people think we're in this situation because we want to be, but it is not the truth. I do have a work permit, social, but I'm not citizen yet. And if you're not a citizen, they're arresting you. I've been here since 2013, paying my taxes and trying to build a better life. During this time, I lost my father. This is where I lose it. Lost my father without having the chance to say goodbye. And it's been 12 years since I last saw my mother. Some people think we're in this situation because we want to be, but that is not the truth.
Wow. I didn't see that. That's precisely.
Hello, Liz.
Hi, Lee. Wait, am I going to look over the person in between us?
Yes, we have a special guest on today. Our friend Kristen, who is beautifully sitting between the two of us, is usually on the other side of the cameras. This is Kristen, our amazing podcast producer, our dear friend, and under shitty-ass circumstances, we've asked you to be on this side of the table today.
At the last minute. And can we just say before we get going that it's Monday, so we don't know what's going to happen by Thursday of this week when it's coming out.
Yes.
But first and foremost, you need to know that Kristen is a United States citizen.
Yes, I am. She's not just saying that. I really am.
She has her papers in her car, literally in her car.
All right, so let's start with an introduction. Go ahead.
Sure. So, like I said, I'm Kristen. I'm the CEO of Novice Studios, which is a full-service video podcast production company here in Charlotte. I've been working with Liz and Lee on their podcast since 2022. We're coming up on 4 years in February, which is crazy. And so we've expanded a lot this year, and it's been a really fun year of growth for us. We have our own studio in Matthews, North Carolina. And yeah, it's been kind of a heavy weekend to be a Hispanic business owner for sure.
Yeah, that's why you're on this side of the table. So to get started, where do you start? I mean, you knew this was going to happen. This is what everybody in Charlotte knows. And if you're outside of Charlotte and you don't know, the United States Border Control has come to Charlotte, and it's kind of the first city that is just the border control. I believe I'm correct in that. ICE, yeah?
Yeah, definitely ICE.
But Border Control is here, and it feels like a whole new ballgame, or maybe it's just because we've never had this before.
Yes.
So you knew it was coming when?
I saw late last week there were social media reports, different immigration attorneys that I follow on social media just because of their coverage of the election and keeping people informed, that ICE agents were coming to Charlotte, North Carolina over the weekend, and then have been following reports of traffic stops and things like that, just to kind of be in the know of what's happening. But it wasn't until Saturday morning I was planning to take my son to the Charlotte Overlook Park, where I was like, do I need to think about this? Is this something that I need to be worried about? I was born in New York. My parents are Puerto Rican, and there's some allegedly misinformation about Puerto Ricans being Americans. I mean, Puerto Rico is a part of America.
Part of America.
It's a U.S. territory. So even if I was born in Puerto Rico, I would still be an American citizen. But I Googled, is real ID enough to prove citizenship?
Interesting.
Just to double check, and it's not. And so I was like, okay, well, yeah, exactly. And so I was glad that I looked it up, and then I was like, okay, well, I do have a passport. An expired passport counts, but my passport doesn't match my married name because it's from when I was in high school. So I'm just thinking, do I also carry my marriage certificate and all this stuff? And my husband was like, you're not leaving the house today, is the thing. My son is half Puerto Rican, half white, but he is very white passing. And so someone could think I was his nanny, or that was kind of my thought. Like, if they didn't immediately see that we're related, or if I was grabbed and then he was left behind. There was a lot of anxiety in our house. And then later that evening started to see reports. The Charlotte Observer has been doing, I think, an amazing job of covering what's happening with ICE over the weekend. One of our first clients ever when I first started my business was Compare Food Charlotte. They're an amazing team, but they are also offering free deliveries for families in Charlotte if you're worried about leaving your home and coming into the store, because they are standing outside of international grocery stores because they're profiling. So, yeah.
Wow. Have you utilized them? Have you gone to the grocery store?
My husband does all our grocery shopping, so he did the grocery shopping.
Is he Puerto Rican?
He's white.
He's white. Okay.
Yeah. He's born and raised in Monroe, North Carolina.
So you're traveling around with an expired passport, a driver's license, and a marriage certificate?
No, I left my marriage certificate at home, so I hope that the passport's enough, the expired passport with my maiden name. But it's just something that people shouldn't have to think about or worry about. And I think if due process was being followed, that would be a totally different conversation. If we knew that people were stopping people and asking first, are you an American citizen? Do you have documentation? But they're not. They're just grabbing people. And when you see a group of masked officials running at you, I feel like it's human nature to run in the opposite direction. And then they think you're guilty of something, and so they go after you. And the man who was, who they broke into his truck over the weekend and busted his window, he said he was stalling. He knew that he was an American citizen.
He was trying to help others.
But he was trying to stall them so that other people could get away.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Because of course, it was reported by some news outlets that he was being mean, bad, He was arguing and resisting, and but he was actually stalling and just saying he wasn't going to open the door.
Yeah.
And then they busted his window.
Can we just say all three of us, and maybe I don't speak for you, you tell me if I don't, I think we are all very interested in knowing who's illegal and who is legal.
Yeah.
I mean, for the main part, knowing that our listeners have different viewpoints, I think what's fair here is that we might not agree with with them bringing ICE and Border Patrol in, but we wouldn't be so in disagreement and so in fear if they were actually following protocol and legal protocol of asking for ID, or showing their ID and not wearing a mask, maybe.
Yeah. Yes. I think the masked component of it is very disturbing. And we've seen in history that usually masked agents are not a good sign that things are going in the right direction in your country. But I think, too, it's just interesting. Something that was coming up for me a lot over the weekend was, and it sounds silly on the surface, but with the whole Bad Bunny being the halftime show, and then people saying he's not American. Well, he is American. And I think it's one thing to say, oh, okay, there's this artist that I'm not familiar with who's going to be in this big show, and I might not understand his lyrics because I don't speak Spanish. And it was really interesting to me to see the two groups of people that kind of emerged from that. There were the people who were like, ooh, I don't know Spanish. Now's a good time to learn. Or let me at least start to listen to the music and get a feel for the culture. And I just love that because we're not asking you to actually learn an entire language between now and February.
You don't need to know the language like Bad Bunny.
Exactly.
Come on. I don't know the language.
Music is a universal language is the thing. And the beats are really fun. And but then to see, okay, well, there's this alternate halftime show that Turning Point USA was going to put on. I think the last that I've seen is that they couldn't find anybody that would be a big enough draw for the headline to keep it going. But just the thought that there are people out there who were like, okay, well, Puerto Ricans aren't American enough for us was starting to get to me over the weekend.
So it feels very racial and racist.
That's exactly what the issue is. It's not necessarily political at all, even though that is an obvious division here. This is humanity and just human decency. And so without the processes of law that are accurate and without good reason and fear mongering, then it just doesn't make any sense that this is happening. And it leaves me very confused and very hopeless and feeling like, how can I help and what can I do?
And before you answer, because you've got an answer for this, I think it's doing the opposite of what the administration wants it to do.
Yeah.
You can't terrorize American citizens that voted for you and expect them to support you.
Yeah.
I think we're all differing. I know that we all three are on the same page politically, but a lot of my friends, and they are friends, feel differently. And I respect everyone's opinion here. But if you want to have a consensus of Americans and continue a version of democracy, I'm not even saying democracy, but if a version of democracy, you can't harass the people that you hope will support you in whatever you're trying to achieve.
Yeah, and without that due process, you don't have democracy.
Correct.
And I think that's where people are up in arms. And, for as much, there's been so much discussion, if you can call it discussion, about political violence since the murder of Charlie Kirk. And this is political violence. It's racial profiling. It's not okay. And the FBI even had released some reports, like the FBI themselves, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, I'm really not, but it's really hard not to feel like you're going crazy, I feel like, throughout this whole administration. But they released reports that there were people either posing as Border Patrol agents or who were actual Border Patrol agents. They're not really taking the time, I think, to vet the people that are applying. They're like, we need to get rid of as many illegal immigrants as possible, and here's the salary and the benefits, and go for it. There's no repercussions because people are masked.
And they're not really trained.
And so, of course, how could they follow due process? They don't even know what the due process is. But yeah, it's crazy. It's hard.
Oh, well, I don't know what to say to you. I mean, I can't honestly know what to say to you because the fear, I was looking, literally Instagram has been a really great source of what's going on. It's the quickest news feed coming out on my phone.
Yeah.
And watching, it's all over. It's on The Sun, it's in ABC News, it's in New York Times, the Charlotte Observer is, like you said, is doing a great job of, they showed a big white guy outside with a jacket on, a vest on in front of his children's school. Parents, one good thing about our community is we're coming together, white, black, brown, whatever color, it doesn't matter, to protect one another.
Yes.
The other thing about this really insane way they're handling this is the economy. We're already on the brink of really real problems in our economy. And when small businesses have to close down, which they are closing down, and people are afraid to go out to those businesses. Or as I heard a woman being interviewed at South Park Mall, they are afraid, the mall traffic is down. There's no one at the malls shopping.
Right. I mean, it's always a trickle-down effect of, this dichotomy that there's a group of people who think we need to get rid of, and air quotes it all day long, illegal immigrants. Right. And then if they turn around and realize that their whole system of service, industry and community is now impacted, I mean, it's just like, duh. I mean, it's just embarrassingly obvious. Yeah. And we're really hurting our communities so much beyond legal citizenship or I whatnot think for people who really do hard, good work and are just trying their best. I'm sure there are some criminals here and we could do, find the right way to put an end to that. But this lump process is just devastating.
Well, due process does find a real criminal. You go through the due process of identifying where someone lives. People have ways of understanding who the illegal people are. Yeah. This is a matter of just color of a skin or, seeing you in a parking lot and going, well, you're Hispanic. I'm going to rough you up before I'm going to ask you your question or even going to identify myself. Yeah. It's counterproductive and it's not doing anything to protect our border.
Right. And we see people getting grabbed at their immigration appointments outside of government buildings. That you are saying that you want people to do it the right way. You want them to come here legally, which the immigration process takes like a decade. It's a really long process to become a U.S. citizen. And one of the kind of posts that I've been seeing come up too is like, how could you look me in the eye and tell me that you wouldn't cross any ocean, that you wouldn't climb any mountain, that you wouldn't cross any border, illegal or not, for a better life for your children? Every mother, every parent feels that way about their kids. And it just feels so inhumane. Like, I understand having a due process. I understand that we're worried about drug trafficking or child trafficking and all those stuff, which, we could talk about what's going on in the White House if we want to go there.
Well, but also this whole situation with all this money going toward the Border Patrol and ICE, I read the shortest, quickest, everything I'm reading is fast, but it is taking away resources from looking out for children that are being
trafficked.
Yeah, trafficked. Couldn't say it because I don't want to hear it. But it's that again. It's not counterproductive. It's inhumane.
Yes. 100%.
And so that's why it's hard and easy at the same time to say this isn't political. It is all political because of where it stems from. I mean,
yes.
the fact of the way we're treating people is not a political issue. So, if, helping those in need is not a political issue. Where we've gotten is. I wanted to read, actually, Liz, your daughter put this on Instagram. So she canceled her cleaning service to protect the cleaning service canceled their thing to protect all of their workers. These are hardworking, tax-paying mothers of small children who have gone through the proper channels to become citizens. Exactly what you're saying. That people are trying their best in a system that doesn't always work. This is what the owner of the cleaning company texted to Clary, your daughter. Things haven't been easy to get my documents. I've been in the process since 2017. Some people think we're in this situation because we want to be, but it is not the truth. I do have a work permit, social, but I'm not citizen yet. And if you're not a citizen, they're arresting you. I've been here since 2013, paying my taxes and trying to build a better life. During this time, I lost my father. This is where I lose it. Lost my father without having the chance to say goodbye. And it's been 12 years since I last saw my mother. Some people think we're in this situation because we want to be, but that is not the truth.
Wow. I didn't see that. That's precisely what's going on. And, again, I'm a white woman with a Hispanic housekeeper, but she also has a staff. And so I'm proactively, don't come. Yeah. But I would ask all of us to remember they've got staff to pay.
Yeah.
And so
families to feed
people until we can get them working again. And that's the conundrum coming up with these small businesses. Closing, because I was actually talking to my daughter before I came, and I'm like, I'm just going to get in my car and go into some of these areas where they're really working, and I'm just going to go to these stores. And I thought, the stores are closed.
Yeah, yeah.
So how do you help that?
It's almost like COVID times when people were rallying to support small businesses. If you're not sure if a business is open and you have the means to, just call them and see if you can place an online order. An order over the phone. I think, with Compare Foods offering free delivery, if you've never been to Compare Foods, this is a great time to go in, get yourself some dulce de leche, get yourself some plantains and try a new recipe this weekend. Go in and support them, patronize these businesses, because that helps to offset some of the costs of them supporting the community as well.
Will you put that in the notes on how they can do that?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And is there anything else you can tell? We'll have that in the notes, but that's important.
Yeah.
And again, this is Monday. This is going to come out Thursday. My prayer is that it is going to be wiped out and gone by then.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this will be just old news. We want to be
But it's not old news because they'll go to a different city or a different
Yeah.
place. This happened in Chicago. The elections happened, and we've talked about how, the city kind of waved blue after the last election, and we were targeted perhaps as the next place to come.
Well, they're going
Who knows?
Same thing happened in New Orleans, and that's where they're headed after us.
Yeah. And, Charlotte is not a border city. That's
Right.
another thing, too.
We're borderline a lot of things, but we are not a border city. Yeah.
North Carolina is barely a border state. So it is interesting to see which cities are being targeted based on, we have a Democratic governor who has said that he's standing up for all of the people of North Carolina. And I think that that's amazing. We see Senator Jeff Jackson doing amazing things for our community. He's based here in Charlotte, but he's the Attorney General for North Carolina. But I do think it does leave wounds.
Oh,
it does.
gosh.
Because you see the people who didn't say anything or who are saying, well, it's due process. It's not due process at all.
If it was due process, we wouldn't be talking about it.
No.
Yeah.
Because really and truly, it would be harsh. I wouldn't, I know where I come from. But people voted for this administration because they were worried about the border. Yeah. This, I believe, and a lot of people in the know believe, is doing nothing to control our border. No. It's doing everything to
whitewash America and scare us so we don't pay attention to the things that are actually happening. And when we walk through the grocery store, I'm a privileged enough person, like I was nauseous going to the grocery store yesterday, just thinking like, aside from, in addition to the current border issue we're talking about, literally looking at the prices and just kind of like having a pit in my stomach, like, okay, I have to feed my daughter and me for the next 5 days, and how am I going to do this? And we're all really affected, and we're not focusing on what's really the problem and what's going to bring us together. And while the administration just hides
in the middle of this terror, this is we're in a terror right now. There is some light. I mean, I never thought I would agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh my gosh.
But she is coming through going, you know what? I feel like if we all have more in common than we don't. And wow, have we always said that? I mean,
and she apologized for contributing to the divisiveness in politics. And this is the woman who was part of the Jewish space lasers conspiracy. So we've come a long way.
Right. And so all of us, whether we're far left, far right, in the middle, we have ways of communicating and finding this middle. And I think this intensity, this heat being that high, is really, it is taking us quicker toward our goal of being more of a, let's sit down at the table and talk about it. Now, the administration might not be, but they might have their hands forced if some strong leaders like Green come out and do this.
Yeah, especially, I think it's going to take a lot more people on the right to step forward and say, we don't like the direction that our country's moving in, and to be brave enough to speak up, because they have a lot of incentives not to. And I think that people want something different in their government. I think we saw that with the blue wave that just happened this month. And with Zohran Mamdani, let me try that again. With Zohran Mamdani becoming the mayor of New York City, people are like, oh, he's a socialist, and how dare he want free...
He says he's a democratic socialist. Yeah.
That's right. But I think a lot of the rhetoric against him was just based in racism. The fact that he's a Muslim man, he doesn't look like past mayors, and people have a very emotional reaction, I think, still to the Muslim community after 9/11, and I think that that's something that we'll look at it. And I mean, some people are seeing it that way now, that just the racism that came from that event is a lot.
We were just in New York last week, and we saw both sides of this, I think. And we talked to some people from maybe the Upper East Side that were about my age, and they were like horrified, but not to the point of leaving New York. I haven't talked to anybody that wants to leave New York. But the thing that I'm encouraged by with this situation, whether I know not anything about him except what I've read in the paper, and that doesn't mean that I know anything, right? I know what most people know, is that people that are in their 40s and early 50s, even on the right of center, are like, they voted for him because they were done. They were done with the status quo.
Yes.
And we'll see how it governs. I mean, he may be, just the guy that comes out far left and then governs right down the center, and we'll see, because people want right down the center. We're tired. Our economy is driving this whole argument right now.
Yes. The economy is a big piece of it. It's so expensive to live in New York City.
Or in Charlotte.
Then to have to pay so much money to get to your job to be able to afford to live in New York City. And so it will be really interesting. I think all eyes are on him, and we'll see. I mean, I wish him nothing but the best, and I hope that he does everything that he set out to do. Yeah. But I think we're going to see that next year too. I am a South Carolina resident, and Dr. Annie Andrews is running against Lindsey Graham for South Carolina Senate. She's a pediatrician. She's an actual doctor, and has been putting a lot of stuff, with the MAHA movement and debunking myths about MAHA, and just talking about what she would do differently governing the state of North Carolina or South Carolina.
How is that playing in South Carolina?
I get a lot of her ads, and her ads have been really good. She's been doing a lot of publicity. But
they're going to focus in on you.
Exactly.
And we know our algorithms.
I know, she knows. She probably knows me by my name. But it is interesting, like going out, and I live in Indian Land, South Carolina, and I will run into somebody with a Pride shirt, and I'm like, I like your shirt. And they're like, I didn't think anybody was going to like my shirt today in Indian Land, South Carolina. Yeah. But I think that there are people out there who are inclusive, who do believe in a better America for everybody, and not just certain groups of people. And so that does make me feel hopeful. And there were protests in Charlotte this weekend. I mean, people are showing up and making their voices heard, which I think is amazing. And that, definitely don't interfere if you see something going on with ICE. Like, don't get in the middle of it. Don't instigate any officers. But do make your voice heard. Share information about the resources in Charlotte. The Charlotte Observer, like I said, is doing a great job of covering all of this. So share from their profile. And then I don't know if you guys saw this, that Hendrick Chevrolet are the ones that supplied ICE with their vehicles.
Really?
Yeah, for their time here. And all of their...
Well, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Goodness.
They did. I can't remember how many vehicles it was. They were all like 50K.
Okay. All right.
And so all
these
the
are
comments,
just information. Good to know.
Yeah, all the comments on their social media profiles are turned off. And I wonder why.
I know what I think we should call it, and I'm not going to be the first one to say this because I saw it on social media. Is they call it the Charlotte Operation Charlotte Web.
That makes me sick.
Let's just call it Operation Hornet's Nest. That's what Charlotte was originally named in the Revolutionary War.
Yeah.
We were called the Hornet's Nest. That's why we're the Charlotte Hornets. And we can turn these stingers a little bit around, and
Yeah.
don't mess with Charlotte.
Don't
Mecklenburg
mess with
County.
Charlotte. That's right. And I think, you guys are often put into interesting situations because the people in your, just general life and circle all, represent different sides of the aisle. But I think you guys have a platform that you use, and that's definitely appreciated from me. And I know a lot of people that are on the same, whether they're on the same political aisle or not, they see that you guys believe in these things, and also you believe in health and wellness, and also you believe in aging gracefully and being present, and not just living as long as you can, but enjoying your life for as long as you can. And I think that's where people find, okay, we do have a lot more in common than we do have different.
Exactly. Gosh, I couldn't have said that better, because I mean it when we say I've got good friends that believe completely different and have a different thought than me. And I was writing about it yesterday. I love that aspect. I don't love that aspect that they might believe something I totally disagree with. But one of the beauties of humanity and friendship is that we always find a way to come to the table, even if we're at polarizing places. And I'm not one of those people that said, if you voted for thus and so, I'm not going to be your friend. I'm always going to be your friend first. Because there is a way for us to all come together. Yeah. And we all have it in common. You just said it beautifully. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, there's so much to unpack, and I know that there are people who have very visceral reactions to some of the things that have happened in Charlotte. I know with the Ukrainian immigrant who was murdered on the bus in Charlotte.
Horrible.
There's a lot happening, but I think that tying all those things together, everybody comes to this country for a better life, a chance at something different. A lot of the people that you guys have talked about, between the people who come in and clean our homes to the people that prepare delicious baked goods and that, have opened so many restaurants here in Charlotte, all of those people are working hard and building community. Right. And I think that we have to rally behind them because they need our support now more than ever. And so the people who don't have to worry about being afraid need to show up and show out.
Yeah, we've got white faces. We don't have to be afraid. And however we can do that, and that's the way I would like to come up with some better ways. And maybe before Thursday we can, because I know there's got to be a way to help these businesses, whether they're small, they're almost all small businesses. Yeah. And I know certain areas in the east part of Charlotte, they're really, one guy hasn't closed his doors in like 29 years.
Oh yeah, Manila's Bakery.
Yeah. And I'm like, wow, 29 years. And this is, and kids are being kept home from school, and parents are staying home from work. And the tension, you take COVID and multiply that.
Yeah.
But we're not having to all go through it together.
No.
Right?
Which means we
have to go through it together.
One another. In a way, it's our opportunity.
That's right.
It is our opportunity to reach out. And then when we reach out, we find, again, there's really not that much difference in any of us. It's color of skin. Yeah. I'm not going to eat a lot of bakery goods, but I will buy them.
Buy them and give them out.
Yeah, exactly.
And it takes a lot of bravery for these businesses to make a stand. Yeah. And so it's going to take the bravery of everybody else who isn't directly affected to support the people who are making a stand, because that's the only way to enact change, is to get everybody awake
Yes.
and to see and to say something to stop something. And let's find a better way to do this.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Wow. Well, Kristen,
Thanks for having me on.
does this mean that
Power to the people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
power to
girl.
the people. Is there anything else you want to say besides power to the people?
Oh my gosh.
Get this hornet's nest going.
Oh.
Yeah,
my
go
parting
ahead.
words
This is
to
your
be?
I know,
This
exactly.
is your mic.
Oh my
Your mic
gosh.
drop, baby.
Let's see. Okay. Well, I'm a proud Puerto Rican today and every day.
That's right.
And I just encourage everybody to learn more about the cultures that you might not understand, to know that one person is not emblematic of every single person who's in that same race, from that same country, who has the same beliefs, and to just know that everybody is a human who has the same goals as you, which is food, shelter, happiness, fulfillment.
Exactly. Cheers to that. All right.
Cheers.
Thank
I wish we had
you.
a glass.
I wish we had a glass.
Oh my
get a
God.
We'll take a glass of something.
All right. So I guess you'll go flip and go behind the camera next time.
Yep.
Anyway, thanks for being on. You were so good. We might do it again.
Oh, thanks.
Great
Yeah.
plan.
Thank you
love
guys. Well,
Love you guys.
Have we got this?
think
We
we
have
got
got this. Let's go. Let's go Hornets.
Go Hornets.
Bye. Thanks for listening to us today, wherever you get your podcasts. And remember, you can now find our podcast on YouTube.
Yeah. If you liked it, please share, rate, and review. We love 5 stars. And we hope you'll work out with us online or in studio at HilliardStudioMethod.com.